Ryan, have you learned anything about the character of your team over this last little stretch of not knowing they're not going to make the playoffs?
I feel like we had a pretty good handle on the character for a long time. Like there's a lot of good people in our room. This is a tough time of year. We're finding out with us being out of it, but they continue to come and play. And I've liked the Mackenzie Weegar's always one guy that jumps to the forefront a lot of times because he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, that silly cliche, but he does, and that matters because it rubs off on other people. So we don't want to be in this situation where we're on the outside looking in, and it's important that we treat these last couple of games the right way because that'll help us move forward.
Any surprise at all? I think I know the answer to this, but just the idea of where you've seen the growth from Mackenzie's leadership in those areas. You've got more block shots, you've got more goal, but you're probably more focused on leadership and the standard that he's setting. Have you been impressed with the maturation or maybe the growth you've seen since he's been?
For sure. I mean, he's a very emotional guy, and when we had him the first year, you would see that emotion come out a lot of times, and in certain situations it would take him a number of shifts to get back to his game. He's not that way anymore. So he's found a way to still have that fire, but he controls it. So even when there's a mistake that happens or he's not happy with himself, he's done a much better job of just pushing it aside and making sure he's focused on his next shift. So that for sure for me is the biggest growth that I've seen in his game, and I think it's allowed him to be the player that he's becoming for us.
Where do you think that came from? Did that just come from internally, like I've got to kind of do things differently, or was that maybe conversations?
I think part of it's growing up and maybe him realizing that if I lose my marbles or if I'm not being able to regain my focus the next few shifts, I'm not at my best, and that matters. So I think it's part of maturing again. I think it's part of understanding that he has more responsibility on his shoulders this year for showing people the right way to do things, and if a mistake happens, it's your next shift that is what matters, and I think that kind of has struck a chord with him a little bit more.
Ryan, how much do you want to see some of your players hit these goal milestones?
For them, I would love to see it. I mean, it's important for them, so I would like to see them get those opportunities. I'd rather see a win, and I'd rather see us play the right way for sure, but if we can do both those things, it would make for a good night.